Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to talk about the two main types of languages, analytic and synthetic languages. Let's start with analytic languages. An analytic language expresses grammatical relationships using separate words rather than by modifying the words themselves. In these languages, words don't change form based on tense, person, gender, etc. For example, in Chinese, the verb for eat is always 吃, no matter who's doing the eating or when. Tense, aspect, negation, and so on are shown using auxiliary words or particles. Like in English, I will go, will is the future auxiliary. Because the words themselves don't change, word order becomes essential to understand the meaning. For example, the dog bites the man is not the same as the man bites the dog. It's the word order alone that tells you who's doing what. Because there are no case markers, gender, or number endings within words, analytic languages can sometimes be ambiguous if the context isn't clear. Let's take for example the English sentence, I saw her duck. This could mean, I saw a duck, the bird, belonging to her, or I saw her lower her head quickly. Same thing in Chinese. 我看书 could mean, I read a book, I was reading a book, or I will read a book. The tense is understood from context or shown with optional particles. Kids often learn analytic languages faster in terms of morphology, because there are fewer conjugation or agreement rules, but they have to get really good at word order and syntax, which requires a different kind of grammatical attention. Over time, many languages become more analytic. That's pretty common. Latin, a very synthetic language, eventually gave rise to French, which is much more analytic. For example, in Latin, cantabo means I will sing. It's one word. In Old French, it became chanterai, and in modern French, je vais chanter, with a much more analytic structure. This process is called morphological erosion, or analytization. Language context can also play a role. For example, English was likely influenced by Old Norse, which helped simplify its word endings. Now in English, some words still change form, like verbs ending in s or ed, or plural nouns with s, so it might not seem that analytic. But here's why modern English is still considered an analytic language, especially compared to synthetic ones. First off, verbs change very little. For the present tense, I eat, you eat, he eats, the only one visible change is the s for the third person singular. Now in the past tense, I walked, he walked, we walked, one form for everyone. Second, English uses lots of auxiliary words. For the future, will, going to. For the negation, do not, did not. For questions, do you, have you. And for compound tenses, have and be. Sure, there are still some morphological markers, like irregular plural, often with an S, and possession, also with an S. But these are limited in number, and they don't apply to adjectives, articles, or plural verbs. Because English has so few inflections, it has to use a strict word order, subject, verb, object, to show grammatical roles. That's a clear marker of an analytic language. So an analytic language may still have a few inflections, but it mainly expresses grammar using separate words. An isolating language, on the other hand, is an extreme form of an analytic language. The term comes from the idea that every word is grammatically isolated. Absolutely no prefixes, no suffixes, and no inflections. Each word stands alone. Words never change form, no matter what is their grammatical role. So unlike English, there is no verb conjugation and no plural endings. Examples of isolating languages include Chinese, Thai, or Vietnamese. Now for synthetic languages. In a synthetic language, grammatical relationships are built into the words themselves, through affixes or internal changes. This is the opposite of analytic languages, where words don't change at all. So one word can pack in a lot of grammatical informations. It might include the verb, the tense, the person, and even the object sometimes. For example, in Spanish, comeré is one word meaning I will eat. Com is the root, meaning to eat. Ere is the suffix for the future tense at the first person singular. In synthetic languages, noun and verb endings for case, gender, number, etc. are crucial. For example, in Latin, puellus, the little boy. At the feminine form, it becomes puella, the girl. At the plural feminine form, it becomes puellae, the girls. And at the plural feminine dative form, it becomes puellis, to the girls. Because the grammar is included inside the word, you can often rearrange word order without changing the meaning, unlike in analytic languages. Synthetic languages come in two main types, fusional and agglutinative. Fusional languages use affixes that pack multiple meanings into a single unit, like in Latin, but also in Russian, Greek, French, or Spanish. Take the previous Latin example, puellis. The base is puel, meaning little boy, and the suffix is stands for the feminine plural dative form. So one suffix tells you three informations. Agglutinative languages, on the other hand, use a separate suffix for each grammatical function, like links in the chain. Each one does just one job. Agglutinative languages include Turkish, Finnish, or Japanese. Like in Turkish, evlerinizden means from your houses. We can cut the word into ev, meaning house, ler, indicating the plural, iniz, meaning your, and den, meaning from. Even when words get contracted, as in Japanese, the structure is still clear. Take waruku nakatta, it wasn't bad. Waruku means bad. Naku is for negation. Ari in this context means something like to be. And ta is for the past tense. All those elements are packed into one long word, waruku naku ari ta, contracted into waruku nakatta. Then we have polysynthetic languages, which can be either fusional or agglutinative. These are the extreme cases, where a whole sentence can be expressed as a single, very long word that includes subject, object, verb, direction, and more. You'll find this mostly in some Native American languages. For example, in Inuit, there is a word, which I won't try to pronounce, that means, I think I should go to the airport. In conclusion, the difference between analytic and synthetic languages isn't black and white, it's more of a spectrum. No language is purely one or the other. We've seen that English, though mostly analytic, still has some synthetic features, and synthetic languages often use analytic constructions too. This shows that languages evolve and blend, challenging strict classifications. So instead of seeing these types as absolute categories, it's more accurate to think of them as trends, with each language striking its own balance between context-driven clarity and morphological complexity. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe, and drop a comment to help the channel. See ya!